without increasing its share capital. So, the company may invite the public by open declaration that is lend money for a fixed period at a declared rate to be paid on such money. So simply say debenture is a long-term loan. This is totally issued loan by government and companies. So the company is issued at the fixed interest rate depending upon the reputation of the companies. So when companies need to borrow some money to expand themselves, they take the help of debentures. So debenture అనేది రుణపత్రాలు. So we are particularly, this is the debenture holder is a creditor, provide some financial help to company. Based on that, the debenture holder receive some interest, fixed interest from the company in every year. So what about the debenture, the definition? The word debenture itself, it is a derivation of the Latin word deber, which means to borrow or loan. That's why debenture is a long-term loan. This is particularly derived of the Latin word deber, which means to borrow or either loan. So the debentures were written instruments of debt that companies issue under their common seal. They are similar to loan certificate. So the debentures are issued to the public as a contract of repayment of money borrowed from them. These debentures are a fixed period and a fixed interest rate that can be payable yearly or half-yearly. So the debentures are also offered to the public at large, like equity shares. The debentures are actually the most common way for large companies to borrow money. Simply say, if you see in any balance sheet, 10% debentures, 10%, 1 lakh debentures, where particularly the rate is 10 lakhs rupees. So 10%, 1 lakh debenture means 1 lakh worth of debentures we are totally taken by the company. Based on that, the company pay to debenture holder as a interest at the rate of 10% on 10 lakhs. 10 lakhs మీద 10% in every year, either half-yearly, we are compulsory pay interest. That amount is fixed. And then I simply say, we are particularly, the Companies Act defines the debenture as debenture includes debenture stock, bonds, or many other securities of a company, whether constituting a charge on the asset of the company or not. This is simply say, what about the debenture? Debenture is a long-term fund, long-term loan. Either particularly the extension, either development may require to raise fund without increasing its share capital. That's why we are totally receive the debenture. So what about the features of debenture? The debentures are instruments. Debentures are instruments of debt, which means the debenture holder become creditors of the company. Already told, debenture holder is a creditor of the company. They provide financial assistance to companies. Why? Because to raise funds without share capital. One is the company raise the capital through general public issue a prospectus. In earlier class, we discussed, we receive an application, allotment, and first and final call. That is one process. The second one is, we are particularly raise the funds without increasing its share capital. So to receive some loan, either borrow loan facility from any person, that is that fellow is receive the interest, fixed interest for every year, either offerly. So that's why the debenture holder is a creditor of the company. The second one is feature of the debenture. They are a certificate of debts with the date of redemption and amount of repayment mentioned on it. So this certificate is issued under the company seal and is known as debenture deed. So we are particularly the certificate of debt. This is one of the important feature as a debenture. This is the date of redemption and amount repayment mentioned on it. So debenture is a long-term debt. That is minimum 10 years to maximum either 20 years, 25 years, 30 years, whatever it may be. This is totally the repayment is mentioned on particular date. The certificate is issued under the company's seal and is known as debenture deed. We have particularly the partnership deed to know as a BCom student partnership deed. So this is debenture deed. The third feature is debentures have a fixed rate of interest and such interest amount is payable yearly or half-yearly. So as a debenture holder totally receive providing their loan facility to company, the company is compulsory pay fixed interest to debenture holder. That amount is payable yearly or half-yearly. And then debenture holders do not get any voting rights. This is because they are not instruments of equity. So debenture holders are not owners of the company, only creditors. So those who provide any credit facility to company, that fellow called as a creditor. Not only company, we are particularly receive any financial assistance from any person, any bank. These are so debenture holder do not have any voting right. Only one person, particularly equity shareholders, having the voting right to elect, especially by the board of directors, to run actively in any company. So this is because they are not instruments of equity. So debenture holders are not owners of the company, only creditors. So the interest payable to these debenture holders is charged against the profit of the company. So these payments have to be made even in the case of a loss. So debenture holders compulsory receive interest. This is against the profits of the company. If in case the company earned a loss, but as a debenture holder compulsory receive interest in every year up to redemption of the debenture. So this is the feature of debentures. And then what are the types of debentures? We have different types of debentures are there. One is secured debentures. These are debentures that are secured against an asset of the company. This means a charge is created on such an asset in case of default in repayment of such debenture. So the company does not have enough funds to repay such debentures. The said asset will be sold to pay such a loan. The charge may be fixed, that is against a specific asset, or floating against all assets of the firm. So debenture is totally provide secured against an asset of the company. That's why we are particularly charges created on such an asset in the case of default in repayment of such debenture. So the type of debentures is called as a secured debentures. We are compulsory receive the fund at the time of redemption of debenture. So this is secured. The second one is unsecured debentures. These are not secured by any charge against the assets of the company, neither fixed nor floating. Normally, such kind of debentures are not issued by companies in India. So, we are particularly not fixed, either fixed nor floating. That is totally charged against the asset of the company. The type of debentures is unsecured debentures. And then redeemable debentures. The debentures are payable at the expiry of their term, which mean at the end of a specified period, they are payable either in the lump sum or in installment over a time period. Such debenture can be redeemable at par, premium, or at discount. So this type of debentures are redeemable debentures. So we are particularly the debentures are payable at the expiry of the term, that is either 10 years, either 15 years, either 20 years, whatever it may be. This is the at the end of the specified period, they are payable compulsory. So based on that, we are particularly lump sum or installment over a period. We are compulsory pay that is redeemable with either par, either premium, either discount. And then irredeemable debentures. Fourth one is irredeemable debentures. Such debentures are perpetual in nature. There is no fixed date at which they become payable. They are redeemable when the company goes into the liquidation process, or they can be redeemable after unspecified long time interval. This is irredeemable debentures. This is not a fixed date which they become payable. At the time of your particularly liquidation process, liquidation means winding up of the company. So company do not earn in every year losses, not profit. The company have every year loss. Sometimes we are automatically winding up of the company based on we are totally mentioned at that memorandum of association as well as the articles of association at the time of submission to register under the Companies Act 2013. So at the time of the liquidation, we are compulsory repay that is irredeemable debentures. And then fifth one is fully convertible debentures. These shares can be converted to equity shares at the option of the debenture holder. So we are particularly have the facility. The equity shares cannot be converted to equity shares, cannot debenture, but the debentures are converted into equity shares. This is the one type of option. That type of debentures is called as fully convertible debentures. So we are particularly the debenture may be convertible or non-convertible. That is, the convertible debentures give an option to debenture holders to convert them into equity or preference shares at the stated rate of exchange after a certain period. That is fully convertible debentures. And then for partly convertible debentures, this is the last type of classification of debenture. Here, the holder of such debentures are given the option to partially convert the debentures to share. If he opts for the conversion, he will be both a credit and a shareholder of the company. So now we are particularly partly converted debenture, either non-convertible debentures. So this is not converted into equity shares or the preference shares. So convertible debentures are very popular these days with the companies as it provides them a major source of the permanent working capital. So based on that, we are particularly convert from debenture to equity share, either preference shares. So this is types of debentures. And then depending upon the terms and conditions of the issue and redemption of the debentures, the following 6 situations are commonly found in practice. We are particularly focus only 6 points, situations commonly found in general practice. One is issued at par and redeemable at par. This is the first situation. The second one is issued at discount and redeemable at par. Issued at discount and redeemable at par. The third situation, issued at a premium and redeemable at par. And then fourth one, issued at par and redeemable at a premium. And then issued at a discount and redeemable at a premium. Issued at a discount and redeemable at a premium. The last 6th one is issued at a premium and redeemable at a premium. So on 6 situations, we are particularly having the general entries. So the first point, issue at par and redeemable at par. In this situation, we properly wrote general entry, bank account debtor to debenture application allotment account. This is the first general entry on issue at par and redeemable at par. So the second entry, debenture application account and allotment account debtor to debentures account. In earlier, if you issue the share, either equity share, either preference share, whatever it may be, that application allotment money transferred to equity share capital account, either preference share capital account. But we are particularly the debenture application and allotment account debtor to debenture account. This is issue at par at a redeemable at par. This is the first situation. The second situation, issue at a discount and redeemable at par. This is the second situation. We wrote the general entry, bank account debtor to debenture application account and allotment account. Bank account debtor to debenture application and allotment account. And then the second one is issue the debenture application account debtor, discount on issue of debentures. Why? Because at the time of redeemable, we are totally pay discount. That's why debenture application and allotment account debtor, discount on issue of debentures account debtor to debentures account. We are particularly the discount and redeemable allotment and debentures at a discount. This is the second situation. So the third situation, the issue at a premium and redemption at par. We wrote the general entries, debenture application account debtor, application and allotment account debtor to bank account debtor to debenture application and allotment account. This is the first. The second entry, debenture application and allotment account debtor to debenture account and then to security premium account. Security premium account. This is the third situation. And then fourth situation, issue at par and redeemable at premium. So we are particularly receive the amount bank account debtor to debenture application and allotment account. This is the first general entry. And then the second one is debenture application and allotment account debtor, loss on issue of debentures account debtor to debentures account. If in case, if you provide any discount, that is totally based on loss. So loss on issue of debentures account debtor to debenture account. This is the fourth situation. And then fifth situation, Situation at discount and redemption at premium. Redemption at premium. Bank account debtor to debenture application and allotment account. And then the second one is debenture application and allotment account debtor. Loss on issue of debentures account debtor to debenture account. To premium on redemption of debenture account. So to debenture account to premium on redemption of debenture account. This is the fifth situation. The last situation issued at a premium and redeemable at a premium. So bank account debtor to debenture application and allotment account, and then loss on issue of debentures account debtor, loss on issue of debentures account debtor to debenture account to security premium account to premium on redemption on debenture account to premium on redemption of debenture account. So we are particularly exercise one problem related to 6 points. So give general entries for the following. At the time of examination, he is giving the questions related to 6 issues. Issue of rupees 1 lakh, 9% debentures of 100 each at par and redeemable at par. So this is the first situation. The second situation, issue of 1 lakh, 9% debentures of rupees 100 each at a premium 5%. We already discussed 6 points. That is the same, similar to all 6 points. And then we are totally solved the problem. The debenture value is 1 lakh. So the first one is redeemable at par. Redeemable at par. Issue debenture is at par and redeemable at par. So bank account debtor 1 lakh rupees to 9% debentures application account, application and allotment account. This is we are particularly 1 lakh rupees. Debenture application money received. And then that money is totally transferred to debenture account, debenture application account and allotment account debtor 1 lakh to 9% debentures. This is the first situation point. And then the second one is issue rupees 1 lakh, 9% debentures of 100 rupees each at premium of 5%, but redeemable at par. So at the time of the second situation, the debenture value is 1 lakh. So we are particularly issuing at the premium 5%. So bank account debtor, actual 1 lakh rupees, and then on 1 lakh, we are totally calculate 5% premium. That is 5,000. So 1 lakh 5,000 rupees, bank account debtor 1 lakh 5,000 to 9% debenture application and allotment account 1 lakh 5,000. So debenture application money received. Debenture application money received. And then the second entry, debenture application and allotment account debtor 1 lakh 5,000 to 9% debentures 1 lakh to security premium 5,000. So being debenture application money transferred to debentures and securities premium account. Debentures application money transferred to debentures and security premium account. This is the second situation. And then the third one is issue of rupees 1 lakh, 9% debentures of 100 rupees each at a discount of 5% repayable at par. So bank account debtor, we are particularly provide the discount 5%. So 1 lakh at the rate of 5%, 5,000. So we are particularly the actual debenture value, we are totally deduct the discount 5,000 and then actual value is 95,000. So bank account debtor 95,000 to 9% debenture application and allotment account 95,000. So debenture application money received. And then the second one is 9% debenture application and allotment account debtor 95,000. Discount on issue of debentures account debtor 5,000 to 9% debentures account 1 lakh. So being debenture application money transferred to debentures account. This is a third situation. And then fourth one is issue of rupees 1 lakh at the rate of 9% debentures of 100 rupees each at par, but repayable at a premium of 5%. So in the situation, we are particularly issue of 1 lakh 9% debentures of 100 rupees each at par, but repayable at a premium 5%. So we are already calculated bank account debtor 1 lakh rupees, we are totally received to 9% debenture application and allotment account 1 lakh. Debenture money received. So debenture application and allotment account debtor 1 lakh rupees, loss on issue of debentures account 5,000, and then we are particularly to 9% debentures account 1 lakh to premium on redemption on debenture account 5,000. So 1 lakh 5,000 being application money transferred to debenture account. This is the fourth situation. Another one is in fifth situation, issue of rupees 1 lakh, 9% debentures of 100 rupees each at a discount of 5%, but redeemable at premium of 5%. So in this situation, we are totally wrote the two general entries. One is bank account debtor, why because we are totally provide first discount 5%. That's why the actual value 1 lakh rupees deduct 5,000, 95,000, bank account debtor 95,000 to 9% debenture application and allotment account 95,000. So debenture application money and allotment money received. So that amount is totally transferred. Debenture application and allotment account debtor 95,000. Loss on issue of debentures account 10,000. 10,000. Why? Because 10%. 5 plus 5. So to 9% debentures account 1 lakh to premium on redemption on debenture 5,000. So we are particularly the debenture application money transferred to debentures on debenture account. This is the fifth one. The last one is bank account debtor issue of rupees 1 lakh, 9% debentures of 100 rupees each at premium of 5% and redeemable at premium of 5%. In this situation, bank account debtor 1 lakh 5,000 to 9% debenture application and allotment account 1 lakh 5,000. So the last entry, debenture application and allotment account debtor 1 lakh 5,000, loss on issue of debentures account 5,000 to 9% debentures account 1 lakh, and then to premium on redemption of debenture account 5,000. So debenture application and allotment money transferred to debenture account. So and then one minute. And then redemption of debentures. So what about the redemption of debenture? Redemption of debenture means repayment of the number of debentures issued by a company. It refers to the discharge of liability in respect of debentures of a company according to section 71 subsection 1 of the Companies Act 2030. A company may issue debentures with an option to convert such debentures into shares either wholly or partly at the time of redemption. We already discussed in last point. This is the repayment of number of debentures issued by the company. It refers to the discharge of the liability under the debenture of a company. So, provide that is issue of debenture with an option to convert such debenture into shares wholly or partly should be approved by a special resolution. So, easily convert. This is one of the important feature in debenture also. We are particularly convert such debentures into shares, either preference shares, either equity shares, the total wholly or partly. And then according to rule 18, the company's rules 2014, the company shall not issue secured debentures. So unless it complies with the following conditions, an issue of secured debentures may be made provided to the date of its redemption shall not exceed 10 years from the date of issue. So another one is provide the company engaged in the setting up of the infrastructure projects may issue secured debentures for a period exceeding 10 years, but not exceeding 30 years. We already discussed in last points, the minimum is 10 years, maximum is 30 years. So that's why debenture is a long-term liability. For a secured debenture, the date of the redemption of the debentures shall not exceed 10 years from the date of issue. So a company issue engaged in the setting up of infrastructure projects may issue secure the debentures up to a redemption period is 30 years. From the above, we are particularly discussed this point. So, debenture redemption reserve. Debenture redemption reserve. Section 71, subsection 4 provides that where debentures are issued by a company, under this section, the company shall create a debenture redemption reserve account out of the profits of the company available for payment of dividend, and the amount credited to with such an agreement would ensure that the company will have sufficient funds, either reserves, for the redemption of debentures. Rule 18, subclass 7 of the Companies Rules 2014 prescribed the following conditions regarding the creation of debenture redemption reserve for the purpose of redemption of debenture. We are compulsory redemption of debenture. We open the debenture redemption reserve compulsory created out of the profits of the company. So, this is the most important on redemption of debentures point. The terms of redemption of debentures. The debentures may be redeemable at already discussed 6 points. So that we are particularly at par, at premium, at a discount. What about at par? At par means debentures are redeemed at par. That is the face value. Face value of the debenture will be repaid on redemption. Face value. చెప్పండమ్మా. At par, debentures are redeemed. That is, at the face value of the debenture will be repaid on redemption. Face value means 9% debentures, 1 lakh rupees. Okay. If in case 1 lakh debentures at the rate of 10 rupees each, the face value is 10 rupees. So 9% debenture. So the interest rate is totally fixed by the company to pay as a debenture holder. Out of the payment, particularly the interest is 9%. So the terms of redemption of debenture, one is at par. The second one is at premium. Premium, the debentures may be redeemable at a premium. In such case, at the time of redemption of debenture, hold will be paid face value of the debenture plus premium on redemption of debentures. Actually, the debenture value is 1 lakh rupees. Plus premium is, security premium is 5,000. So we are totally pay 1 lakh plus 5,000, 1 lakh 5,000. For example, a debenture of face value rupees 100, that is the par value. Face value or par value, both are the equal, 100 rupees. May be redeemable at 110, such as a premium payable and redemption is a capital loss for the company. So if you pay, in addition, actual value, par value is 100 rupees, the company pay to debenture holder 110 rupees. So in excess, 10 rupees is payable by company to the debenture holder. This is a capital loss of the company. Such premium and redemption must be provided as a liability at the time of issue of debenture. So this is a liability to show the time of the debenture, that is premium. The third one is at the time discount, at a discount. So we are particularly at the time of redemption of debenture, the debenture holders are paid something less than the face value of the debenture. Practically, such debenture are not issued by any company. However, the company may purchase its own debentures, its own open market, when debentures are traded at less than face value, and redeemable would own debentures at discount. So sometimes the debentures also pay with discount, something with less value on face value. So actual face value is 100 rupees, but we have totally pay 95 rupees. So this is the asset of the company. That's why this is shown at balance sheet side, issue of debentures. So the amount to be paid to debenture holders depends upon the terms of issue. According to the terms of the issue, the debenture may be redeemable fully in one lump sum at the given period or installment or drawing lots. So we are particularly discuss in next slide either lump sum amount, either installment, either drawing lots. This is so. What are the general entries at the time of debenture redemption? We are particularly have at the time of first year. Similarly, we are totally focused the same procedure for up to some years. So the minimum debenture is particularly the fixed duration minimum 10 years. The maximum is 30 years, not exceed 30. So at the time of the first year, we wrote for setting aside the fixed amount of profit for redemption. So please mute your. At the time of first year, for setting aside the fixed amount of the profit for redemption, profit and loss account debtor to debenture redemption reserve account. At the end of the first year, we are compulsory wrote profit and loss account data to debenture redemption account at the time of redemption of debentures point of view. The second one is for investing the amount set aside for redemption, debenture redemption reserve in investment account data to bank account. So, all of you, please mute your mobile phones. Hello. So the debenture redemption reserve investment account data to bank account. This is at the end of the first year, we are compulsory wrote to general entries, profit and loss account data to debenture redemption reserve account, the redemption reserve account data to bank account. This is the first point. At the end of the second year, we are particularly subsequent years up to last year, we are particularly receive any interest on debenture redemption reserve. So investment bank account data to interest on debenture redemption reserve account. And the second one is redemption reserve investment account data to debenture redemption reserve account. The third entry, profit and loss account data to debenture redemption reserve account. So the three are at the time end of the last year compulsory last year varaku continue raaya. At the end of the last year, we are totally wrote the in general entries, redemption reserve investment to debenture redemption reserve account data to interest on debenture redemption reserve investment account to debenture redemption reserve account. If in case we are particularly fixed amount of profit for redemption, profit and loss account data to debenture redemption reserve account. For enhancement of debenture redemption reserve investment, bank account data to debenture redemption reserve account, investment account. If in case the profit and loss account on realization of debenture redemption reserve, if you receive either profit, either loss on realization account, we are compulsory to wrote debenture redemption reserve investment account data to debenture redemption reserve account. This is in the case of if you receive the profit on debentures, we wrote this entry, debenture redemption reserve investment account data to debenture redemption reserve account. If in case if you have any loss on debentures, so debenture redemption reserve account data to debenture redemption reserve investment account. So if in case for amount due, especially for debenture holders on redemption, so debenture account data to debenture holders account. This is not a payable. If you pay to debenture holders at the time of end of the last year, debenture holders account data to bank account. So these are all the general entries specifically on redemption of debentures point of view. We already discussed in last slides issue of debentures. This is totally related to redemption of debentures point. So we are particularly debenture redemption reserve compulsory maintained. Based on that, we are particularly transfer to debenture redemption reserve account, either debenture redemption reserve investment account. The both are different. So we are lastly pay debenture account data to debenture holders account, that debenture holders account data to bank account. And then we are particularly the methods of redeemable debentures. We are having 4 types of methods on redeemable debentures. So redeemable debentures are redeemed either at par or premium, either discount there are 4 methods of redemption of debentures. One is payment in lump sum. So the company redeems the debentures by paying the amount in lump sum to the debenture holders at the maturity thereof as a terms of issue. So if you debenture is a loan, if you depend on the financial position, we are totally receive from debenture holder. So that fellow is intention to receive every year interest up to some years. That is the intention. So at the time of we are completely redeems the debenture by paying the amount, only lump sum amount to debenture holders at the time of the maturity in the terms of issue. This is one method. The second one is payment in installments. Under this method, normally redemption of debentures is made in installments on the specified date during the tenure of the debentures. So the total amount of debentures liability is divided by the number of years. So the actual debenture redeemable are identified by means of drawing the requisite number of the lots out of the debentures outstanding for payment. So under this method, we are compulsory pay normally redemption of debentures. This is totally based on installment. So the total value, the debenture liability value divided by number of years. Based on that, we are particularly pay on installment sums. And then purchase in open market. Please mute your mobile phones. Please mute. After completing my lecture, you will ask any doubt. Purchase in open market. When a company purchases its own debentures for the purpose of cancellation, such an act of purchasing and cancelling the debentures constitutes redemption of debentures by purchase in the open market. So sometimes we are totally raise capital through general public by a company, that is through issue the prospectus. That is also the same procedure in debenture. Own debentures for the purpose of the cancellation, such act as a purchasing and cancellation the debentures constitutes. So the last one is by conversion into shares. So the company we are particularly issue convertible debentures, giving the option to debenture holders to exchange from debentures to equity shares, either preference shares in the company. So the debenture holders are given the right on certain dates, on or before a specific date, exchange of debentures for the shares. So this is one of the most important feature in the debenture, either redemption point of view, either issue of the debenture point of view. Easily convert from debentures to equity shares or preference shares. But either equity shares or preference shares are not converted to debentures. So a certain number of shares are offered the debentures for the debentures, where the debentures exercise this option and company issues the shares. It is referred as a redemption conversion. So we are particularly convert the debenture from debenture to equity share, either preference share. So these are all related to debentures. If you have any doubt, please ask. Is it okay today class? ఓకే, థ్యాంక్ యూ అమ్మా.
పీపీటీ మాకు మెయిల్ చేస్తా ఉన్నారు, మెయిల్ రాలేదు
చేసేనమ్మా తల్లి.
సార్ రాలేదు సార్. ఇప్పుడు నేను వాట్సాప్ మీకు పంపిస్తున్నాను, ఒకసారి చూడండి సార్. ఇది ఈ మెయిల్ కి పంపించాలి సార్, నిన్నటి క్లాస్ ఈ రోజుది.
నిన్న పంపించాను రా నేను. ఈ
చెక్
రోజు
చేశాను
ఇందాక
సార్.
పంపించాను స్టార్ట్ చేసేటి ముందు ఒకసారి
సార్
వెరిఫై
ఈమెయిల్
చేయండి.
ఐడి పంపించారా సార్?
పంపించాను తల్లి, ఒకసారి చూడండి,
అవునా
వెరిఫై
సార్?
చేయండి.
ఒకసారి మీ మెయిల్ ఐడి చెప్పండి సార్, నేను చెక్ చేస్తాను.
రమేష్ మోటూరి RAMESSMOTURA@gmail.com అమ్మా.
ఓకే సార్, నేను చెక్ చేస్తాను.
ఒకసారి చూసుకోండి.
Okay.
నియర్లీ నేను పంపించింది 15 మెంబర్స్ మేబీ.
అందులో
ఫస్ట్
నా
డే
మెయిల్ ఐడి ఉందా సార్?
ఏది చెప్పమ్మా, నీ మెయిల్ ఐడి చెప్పరా.
SMI స్మైలీ స్వాతి అని ఉంటుంది సార్. ఇప్పుడు మీకు
స్మైలీ స్వాతి
మెసేజ్
లేదురా,
చేశాను సార్,
స్మైలీ
ఈమెయిల్ కొంచెం పంపించండి సార్.
ఓకే అమ్మా, చెప్పురా. SMILY SMILY
సార్ ఇది మన చాట్ బాక్స్ లో పెట్టాను సార్, ఒకసారి మీరు చాట్ బాక్స్ ఓపెన్ చేయండి.
చూస్తాను. ఓకే. SMILEY కదమ్మా?
అవును సార్.
ఓకే తల్లి. LEY
స్వాతి
96@gmail.com. ఓకే రా. ఇది ఎవరో ఓకే రా. దీంట్లో ఏమైనా డౌట్ ఉందమ్మా?
లేదు.
ఇది ఏంటంటే మనకి మీకు ఎగ్జామ్ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ వ్యూలో థియరీ పాయింట్లని ఎక్కువ అడుగుతాడు. ఇఫ్ ఇన్ కేస్ వాట్ ఈజ్ డిబెంచర్, what is the general interest related to issue of debentures or redemption of debentures. ఓకే, ఈ పాయింట్ కి సంబంధించి మీకు 6 పాయింట్స్ చెప్పాను కదా. ఇష్యూ ఆఫ్ డిఫరెంట్ పాయింట్స్, ఎదర్ ఇష్యూ ఎట్ పార్, ఎదర్ డిస్కౌంట్, ఎదర్ ప్రీమియం. ఓకేనమ్మా, అవి మాత్రం బాగా గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాలి. అది చూసుకోండి. వి విల్ మీట్ 9th, మళ్ళీ 9, 10, 11, 12, 9th, 10th, 11, 12 అప్పుడు క్లాస్. ఓకేనమ్మా, ఓకే థ్యాంక్ యూ. థ్యాంక్ యూ. ఓకే అమ్మా.
నీ బండిదే, అది నువ్వు వేసుకొచ్చిన బండిదే. అట్టుకొస్తున్నాను.